My grandmother called dandelions the honest plant. Vermont, 1930s. By February, the food was running out. The garden was 6 weeks from producing anything. But the dandelions came first. She never called them weeds. In her world, a weed took without giving. The dandelion only gave. Here's what she knew that we forgot. 100 grams of dandelion greens, 558% of your daily vitamin K. Not 5, not 50, 558. More beta-carotene than a carrot, more calcium than a glass of whole milk, more vitamin A than most supplements on a pharmacy shelf. This is USDA data, the same numbers hospitals use. The plant you've been pulling, spraying, and paying to remove one of the most nutrient-dense leafy greens on Earth. This video won't tell you dandelions are magic. No plant is. What I'll show you is what the research actually says and what it doesn't. One more thing. If you're on blood thinners, diuretics, or diabetes medication, stay through the safety section. It matters more than any of the nutrition data. 558% of your daily vitamin K. This is the most important number in this video, and it cuts both ways. Vitamin K comes in 2 dietary forms. K1, found in green plants. K2, found in fermented foods and animal products. Dandelion is rich in K1. K1 has 2 well-established roles in the body. The first, blood clotting. Without adequate vitamin K, your blood can't clot properly. It is foundational biochemistry, not controversial. The second, bone health. Vitamin K activates the proteins that mineralize bone with calcium. The research here is robust. Does eating dandelion prevent osteoporosis? That claim goes beyond the evidence, but vitamin K's role in bone health is well established. There's also emerging research on vitamin K and cardiovascular health. Promising, but not yet conclusive. That's the honest answer. Here's what is established. Vitamin K deficiency becomes more common with age, not by choice, but because most Western diets have quietly lost their dark leafy greens. The dandelion leaf is one of the richest sources of vitamin K1 on Earth. Put it in context. Spinach, long considered the gold standard, contains around 480 micrograms per 100 grams. Kale, which has had its cultural moment, sits at around 704. Dandelion greens, 778. Dandelion exceeds spinach, matches kale, and it's growing in your garden right now, in quantities your neighbors are paying to remove. Now, that vitamin K content cuts both ways. For most people, it's a remarkable benefit. For anyone on blood-thinning medication, as particularly warfarin, it's a conversation you need to have with your doctor before you change how much of this you eat. Full picture in the safety section. It's coming. This channel doesn't leave out the parts that complicate the story. One thing worth adding to those numbers. As we age, our ability to absorb and convert nutrients shifts. Vitamin A deficiency becomes more common in older adults, quietly, without obvious symptoms. A plant delivering 338% of your daily value for free from your garden is worth paying attention to for that reason specifically. Taken together, the full nutritional profile of dandelion reads like the ingredient list of a premium green supplement, except it's free. Whole food form, no processing, no capsule, no markup. One honest caveat before we move on. Those USDA figures are for raw greens. Cooking reduces vitamin C significantly. It's heat sensitive and water soluble. Vitamins K and A are more stable, though some loss still occurs. Not a reason to dismiss the value, just an accurate picture. We've covered what dandelions contain. Now the harder question, what does it actually do? In 2021, researchers DiNapoli and Zucchetti published a comprehensive review of the scientific literature on dandelions in the Bulletin of the National Research Center. Peer-reviewed, one of the most thorough summaries of dandelion research available in English. This is the document I want to walk you through, including where the evidence is strong, where it's early, and where it's still uncertain. Antioxidant activity. Multiple compounds in dandelion have demonstrated antioxidant activity in laboratory settings. These are compounds that help neutralize unstable molecules associated with cellular damage and accelerated aging. Does that mean eating dandelion produces meaningful antioxidant effects in your body? The honest answer, that evidence is still limited. Most of this research was conducted in labs and animal models, not in humans. Antioxidant compounds are present. Clinical evidence in people is still developing. That's the accurate statement. Anti-inflammatory potential. Several dandelion compounds have shown anti-inflammatory effects in laboratory and animal studies. The review flags them as worth continued investigation. Same caution. Lab results are an early step, not human evidence. The potential has been identified. Whether it translates into confirmed outcomes for people consuming dandelion requires more clinical work, liver and digestive support. This is one of the oldest traditional claims for dandelion root, and one of the most consistent across traditions: European, Middle Eastern, Chinese herbal systems, all of them independently, pointing at the same uses. What did science find? Animal studies and preliminary investigations consistent with the traditional claim. The mechanisms exist. A confirmed clinical treatment? No. But more than can be said for many traditional claims that have been examined and found to have no basis at all. Honest framing. Traditionally used for liver and digestive support. Early research has found biological activity consistent with those uses, a food plant that warrants continued investigation, not a pharmaceutical intervention. Diuretic activity. This is where the evidence is strongest. Dandelion leaf has been used as a mild diuretic across multiple traditional systems for centuries. And a small human study, cited directly in the DiNapoli and Zucchetti review, found that standardized dandelion leaf extract produced a statistically meaningful increase in urinary frequency and volume in healthy adult volunteers. A human study, not an animal model, consistent with centuries of traditional use. The study was small, don't overstate it, but it's one of the strongest pieces of clinical evidence for any dandelion effect currently in the literature. And, as you'll hear in the safety section, this diuretic activity is exactly why anyone already on prescription diuretics needs to pay attention before adding dandelion to their diet. What the review does not say: dandelion does not prevent cancer, does not reverse diabetes, does not cure any chronic condition. Any video, product, or article making those claims is going beyond what the evidence supports. This channel will not make them. What DiNapoli and Zucchetti actually established: dandelion is a plant worth taking seriously, with a traditional use history that is proving more scientifically coherent than many researchers initially expected. Meaningful, but not the same as a proven medical intervention. We're halfway through. If what you're hearing is different from most dandelion content online, more grounded in evidence, more willing to tell you what the research does and doesn't show, this channel is for you. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you know someone who's been removing dandelions without knowing what they contain, share this video. That knowledge is theirs as much as it is yours. Before anything goes into your kitchen, you need to know with certainty that what you're holding is actually a dandelion. There are plants that look like dandelions. Some are edible. Some haven't been confirmed safe, and from a standing distance they can look identical. So here's what to check. 5 things, simple, fast, and reliable. First, pull one leaf and look at where it came from. Every single leaf on a dandelion grows from the base of the plant, right at ground level. There are no leaves on the stem, none. If you see leaves growing up the stem, even one, put it down. That's not a dandelion. Second, snap the stem. A dandelion stem is hollow inside. Snap it in half and look at the cut end. You'll see a milky white sap appear, like a thin white liquid. If the stem is solid or the sap is clear, stop right there. That's your signal to leave it alone. Third, count the flower heads on each stem. 1 stem, 1 flower. That's it. A dandelion never branches. If the stem splits and carries more than 1 flower head, it's not a dandelion. Set it down and move on. Fourth, look closely at the flower itself. The dandelion flower is all yellow. Every petal, same shape, same color. No brown center, no purple edges, no second color anywhere. If you see any other color in that flower head, you're looking at something else. Fifth, if it has a seed head, you're done. You already know what a dandelion seed head looks like. That white globe, children, blow into the wind. Once you see that, fully formed and round, there's no confusion possible. That is a dandelion. Run through those 5 checks every time. They take 30 seconds, and they give you genuine confidence rather than a guess. One final thing, and this matters even after you've identified it correctly. Know the history of the ground you're harvesting from. Herbicide-treated dandelions look exactly like untreated ones. You cannot see the chemical. It's absorbed into the plant tissue. So don't harvest from any lawn that has been sprayed. Don't harvest from roadsides. Don't harvest near industrial land. The plant itself is safe, but the ground it grew in may not be. Those are 2 separate questions, and both need a yes before anything goes into your kitchen. You've identified them. You've harvested from clean ground. Now here's what to do with each part. Young spring leaves, harvested before the plant flowers, when they're still small and tender, have the mildest flavor. Alan Burgo at Forager Chef recommends treating them as you would any bitter salad green. Arugula, radicchio, Belgian endive. They need a dressing with enough acidity and fat to balance the bitterness. A simple Italian preparation: olive oil, lemon juice or wine vinegar, a pinch of salt, shaved hard cheese. Not a modern fusion idea. Italian regional cooking has documented this for centuries. As the season progresses and the leaves grow more bitter, cook them. Blanching in salted boiling water for 2 to 3 minutes reduces bitterness while preserving the fat-soluble nutrients. After blanching, sauté in olive oil with garlic and a little chili. This is the traditional Southern Italian method, cucina povera, the food of the poor, built around exactly this preparation for generations. The blanching removes the sharpness. The oil and garlic bring the flavor together. Ashley, adamant at Practical Self-Reliance, goes further. Quiches, frittatas, pasta dishes, lentil soups, hand pies. In each case, heat and fat transform the bitterness into complexity rather than harshness. One caveat: blanching and cooking reduce vitamin C. It's heat sensitive and leaches into the water. Fat-soluble vitamins, K and A, are more stable under heat, and olive oil increases how much your body absorbs. The root is best harvested in autumn, when inulin content peaks. Scrub it clean, chop into equal pieces, and roast at 200 degrees Celsius until dark brown, dry, and fragrant. This takes between 1 and 2 hours depending on root size and moisture. Grind the roasted root in a coffee grinder. Brew as you would a coarse ground coffee using a French press or pour-over. The result is a dark, caffeine-free beverage with an earthy, mildly bitter, warming character. Burgo notes that adding chicory root deepens the flavor, a traditional pairing across Northern Europe. Harvest flowers mid-morning, fully open, dry, not buds. Buds are bitter. Scatter fresh flowers across salads. Color and gentle sweetness. Adamant's dandelion fritters, flowers dipped in a light egg and flour batter and pan-fried, are festive and genuinely good. Her dandelion honey, flowers simmered with water, sugar, and lemon juice, then strained, produces a golden floral syrup. Use it exactly as you would honey. Dandelion wine has the longest documented preparation history of any dandelion recipe in the English language record. Flowers, water, sugar, citrus, yeast. Adamant's Guide at Practical Self-Reliance covers the full preparation. It predates the commercial wine industry in Britain and across Northern Europe. And if you want to grow them rather than forage them, here is what matters. Dandelions are one of the easiest plants on earth to grow. The challenge, most of the time, is not starting them. It's stopping them. Start from seed. Look for Taraxacum officinale specifically, available from reputable herb and seed suppliers. Sow directly into the ground or into deep containers. The taproot grows long. You need at least 30 centimeters of depth. Surface sow, press lightly, keep moist. They germinate in 7 to 14 days. Soil and light. They tolerate almost anything, but do best in loose, well-drained ground with a neutral to slightly acidic pH. Full sun produces the most vigorous plants. Partial shade works but slows growth. Water minimally. Dandelions are drought-tolerant once established. Overwatering is more of a problem than underwatering. One thing to plan for: containment. Each seed head releases 100 to 200 seeds. Grow them in a dedicated bed or deep containers. They will spread. Harvest by season. Young leaves in spring, before flowering, for the mildest flavor. Flowers in summer, mid-morning, when they are fully open. Roots in autumn, when the inulin content is at its peak. You control the soil. You know exactly what went into it. You know it has never been sprayed. That resolves the single most important safety question in this entire video. Everything you harvest is clean. I've flagged 2 things already in this video: the vitamin K interaction with blood thinners and the diuretic effect. You've heard both. Now I want to put the full picture in one place, clearly, so nothing gets missed. 6 groups of people need to pay attention here. 1. You're on blood thinners, warfarin, acetylcoumarin, or any anticoagulant. Your dose is calibrated to your current vitamin K intake. Dandelion greens are one of the richest sources of vitamin K on earth. Changing how much you eat in either direction shifts that balance. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist before dandelion becomes a regular part of your diet. 2. You're on prescription diuretics. Furosemide, hydrochlorothiazide, any prescribed diuretic. Dandelion leaf adds to that effect. Your medication is already managing your fluid and electrolyte balance. Adding dandelion without telling your prescriber changes the equation they're working from. Ask first. 3. You're on diabetes medication, insulin, or oral diabetes drugs. Early research suggests dandelion may have a mild effect on blood glucose. The science isn't settled, but if your glucose levels are already being carefully managed, even a small additional influence matters. Let your prescriber know if you plan to use it regularly. 4. You have a gallbladder condition. Dandelion stimulates bile flow. For a healthy gallbladder, that's fine. For someone with gallstones or active gallbladder disease, it can trigger significant discomfort. If you have a confirmed gallbladder condition, speak to your physician first. 5. You have a latex allergy. The white sap in the dandelion stem is a plant latex. A confirmed latex allergy means you may react to the sap on your skin or to consuming the plant itself. Check with your doctor before eating it in any quantity. 6. You're pregnant. There isn't enough clinical evidence to confirm safety in medicinal quantities or supplement form during pregnancy. Stick to minimal culinary amounts and discuss it with your midwife or obstetrician. 6 situations. Clear lines. If none of them apply to you, dandelion is food. It has been eaten safely for thousands of years. Use it. If any of them apply, don't rely on this video. Bring this list to your doctor or pharmacist and ask directly. That conversation costs nothing, and it gives you a clear answer based on your specific situation. That is what responsible guidance on this topic looks like. My grandmother called it the honest plant. I think what she meant, though she never would have used this language, is that the dandelion doesn't pretend to be something it isn't. It grows where it's not wanted. It comes back when it's removed. It offers what it has freely, year after year, without asking anything from you. That's a kind of integrity. You now know what it contains, what the research says, and what it doesn't. How to identify it with confidence, how to use every part of it. And if any of the safety considerations apply to you, you know exactly what conversation to have with your doctor. What you do with that is entirely yours. I stopped removing the dandelions from this garden some years ago. Small decision. It didn't change my life, but it changed how I see this piece of ground. Something shifts when you stop seeing a plant as an enemy and start seeing it for what it actually is. Tell me in the comments, what surprised you most? I read everyone, and every comment shapes what comes next. If you're new here, subscribe. Every week, we go back to the research and the ancestral knowledge and give you the honest truth about plants like this one. Subscribe so you don't miss it.